Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to talk to you about high caliber in Call of Duty World War II. I don't have that much World War II gameplay for you because I only had 35 minutes in total and I don't want it to get too repetitive, but we'll play a little bit here in the beginning before I swap over to some good old MWR. In case you haven't heard, the high caliber attachment is returning in Call of Duty World War II. You may remember it first appearing in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and what it did was increase headshot damage. It made a handful of the semi-auto rifles one-shot kills, and most of the other weapons in the game would become two-shot kills, albeit if both of those were headshots. Maybe one head and one body for the rifle, but two for the submachine guns. I was initially all on board the high caliber train. I thought it was a great attachment. It made a lot of sense to me that headshots should be rewarded in Call of Duty, because every Call of Duty since Black Ops 2, except briefly Ghosts when people were getting nuked, didn't really reward headshots. You would see a lot of weapons that would, depending on your range, require 5 body shots to kill, or 4 headshots. So what would you rather do, get 5 body shots or 4 headshots in a row? And it didn't really seem like aiming for the head was advantageous. Outside of a couple of niche weapons that it worked really well on, nobody really did it. And then high caliber came along. We fixed that problem with high caliber. Headshots were awesome again, but we introduced a new problem. The new problem was that the flinch was almost always upwards in the game. If you were shooting an enemy, you would be making them flinch and picking their aim upwards, which meant that sometimes when you got first shots on enemies, they would actually be rewarded with a powerful headshot on accident, bearing in mind they would be running high caliber. Even if they were aiming for your body, it would just happen, and over time I became much less of a fan of this. Pros pretty much universally hated this for the exact same reason. They didn't like getting first shots on and then the other guy being rewarded with a random headshot due to the flinch. Don't forget about the one-shot kill Shiva, the one-shot kill M1 Garand, or MX Garand, I should say. Maybe mix this in with a little bit of lag, and it got very frustrating, which is why the headshot damage was lowered to begin with. We had the same problem in Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, to a lesser extent in Black Ops 1 because the time to kill was so low, or so high in that game, I should say. And we had this problem when Call of Duty Ghosts first launched, because when it first came out, it had actually pretty beefy multipliers for headshots, but those got scaled back significantly. So currently, Call of Duty games typically have headshot damage bonuses of like 5%, 10%. So you'll deal something like, we'll just say 40 damage if you shoot somebody in the body, or 44 if you shoot somebody in the head. And this sounds kind of crazy. It is my opinion that high caliber needs to be in the game, because right now Call of Duty is the only shooter on the market that doesn't reward headshots. That's one of those classic, iconic, quintessential things about a shooting game, is that shooting people in the head should kill them, and it should be very rewarding. Compared to Battlefield 1, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Overwatch, PUBG, and Rainbow Six, Call of Duty just doesn't reward headshots. All of those games very greatly reward headshots, and those are the games that Call of Duty competes with, but due to the recoil, it's frustrating. So I think the solution is actually to keep high caliber in the game, which makes headshots awesome again. However, maybe Sledgehammer Games should work on the flinch mechanic to give less random headshots. I thought it would be a neat idea to have it to where you couldn't get a headshot while flinching, but that would be kind of dumb, because then you would know you were missing or something like that. So maybe give the flinch a little bit more side-to-side recoil, so that if you get first shots on somebody and they do have high caliber, it won't be nearly as likely to kick upward into their face and grant them that one-shot kill. It's difficult to do without getting too much flinch, because when you get too much flinch, it's also very difficult because then your screen shakes all over the place. Some people even want the flinch mechanic completely removed, but I think that would kind of make the game feel odd. It would kind of make you feel immune to bullets. And I do believe that high caliber has a place in the game. I do believe that Call of Duty should reward headshots, but I believe that it should be done in a skillful manner and not a random manner, so probably look at the flinch mechanic first. That is my opinion. However, I put this video out here just as a topical commentary because I would like to hear from you, the fans of the game, in the comment section below, on Reddit, on Twitter, wherever it is that you want to talk about it. What would you like to see done about high caliber and headshots in general? Guys, that's all for this commentary. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.